Honestly, these microphones are they're pretty incredible. And for what you can get for the price, they're amazing. It was my fault. We ran out of a couple of key items for food, and instead of ordering them online or driving somewhere, we decided just to go walk and pick them up. And this is a shameless plug, and I'm not ashamed to be talking about this on my channel because I actually use this for camera gear, believe it or not. And it's something that I actually carry around with me all the time. It's actually going to be this little bag. It's by this company, I think. My mom actually gave it to me, but the cool thing about it is it packs down into its own little sack. I carry this just in my backpack, and it's incredible for a lot of reasons. If you told me a year ago or even like 5 days ago that I would be the guy that carries around one of these things in public, never say never. I made a video a couple of weeks ago talking about audio and microphones, and I talked about a specific microphone that I decided to never use again because we were getting nothing but problems with them, and those problems were completely my fault. Honestly, these microphones are they're pretty incredible, and for what you can get for the price, they're amazing. It was my fault. Now, this video is specifically geared towards lavalier microphones and different ways to get audio to the camera. And traditionally, we've used one of two ways. The classic Tascam DR10Ls, those are the industry standard for a long time. They're great, no complaints at all, except for having to sync the audio after the fact. That's the one thing that's just. And because of that, we decided to give the Rode VideoMic Pros a try, and they were great for a while, but after using them for a little bit, we started to notice that they just randomly would drop out. They randomly would get buzzing, hissing, and the audio just was never really great. With weddings, we decided to go back to the DR10L, and because we weren't using the Rode microphones for weddings anymore, I decided to, instead of letting them sit on the shelf and collect dust, I was just going to try to use them for my own things, for YouTube. And I could not get the audio to sound nearly as good as I can with my my shotgun microphone, which, for those of you that are wondering, it's the Sony ECM B1M microphone. I love that microphone. It's great. It provides me with rock solid audio, and there's zero complaints. So because of that, I ended the review with basically I don't want to use these anymore because they're not very good. And I can tell you now unequivocally, I was completely and utterly wrong. These microphones are actually great. I just needed to get a couple of settings. I needed to get a couple of settings dialed in. And basically what this video is going to be about is just me telling you the settings that I'm using. It was actually honestly really one, and it's just me kind of coming clean with you about my ignorance with these microphones. Now don't get me wrong, these microphones aren't professional quality by any stretch of the imagination. There are things that are way better out there. And with my background in audio, and for those of you that didn't know, I used to be a recording drummer for years. That was the full-time job. So all that to be said, my ears are I'm a pretty big audio snob, and these microphones don't sound amazing, but they sound good enough to get the job done, and they sound good enough for me to want to use in the future, which is a big deal. Also, I'm on the roof of our apartment complex. I don't know why I've never been up here before. It's really bright, but other than that, it's incredible up here. I think it's important to set expectations on what you actually are ever going to use this for, and I think for what you would ever use this for and what this is designed for, it's incredible. But if you want something that's going to be like a tank, then I would recommend getting something like a Tascam. But for videos, YouTube videos and stuff like that, where this is just super convenient and you can get stuff out quickly, this is honestly, in my opinion, probably the way to go. Now these are the older Rode microphones. The newer ones have better audio, which is even better, but these still aren't too terrible. If I did have one thing that I don't like about these clips are kind of, that's kind of a joke compared to something like this, where it can clip onto a belt, and it's just like, that's like steel, and this is plastic. But other than that, this is incredible. Settings that I had to change that I didn't have in my original video for the Rode microphones. The first one's kind of embarrassing, but I just had to gain the audio up. Like, I had it too quiet, and it just wasn't working out. As soon as I adjusted that like fixed half the problem, and the other half of the problem was I had these microphones split into 2 channels, meaning each one was mono, and it just, whenever you record things in mono, it never sounds nearly as good. So I just switched it to where one of these records in stereo, and that honestly, that made the audio, it made it feel a lot better. Like, whatever gripes I had remaining after I fixed the gain was remedied mostly with these. Now, there is a little bit of like a low mid, like kind of humpiness to it that you get with like cheaper microphones, and that's one of the reasons I love this microphone I'm shooting on right now, which is the ECM B1M. But I mean, you can fix that in post if you really wanted to, and to the normal ear, you're not going to hear a difference, especially if you're listening on an iPhone or something like that. It's almost indistinguishable between the 2 audio devices. So with all that, they're great, and I think I finally have them dialed in to work for me. The main reason that I thought about making a video like this today, well, there was 2 reasons. One was I shot with them yesterday, and I finished editing that video today, and the audio sounded good. And then 2, Savannah and I are actually shooting a wedding tomorrow, and it's a video wedding, and we're using the Tascams, so I was having to like make sure everything still works with those. And because of that, my day is kind of centered around audio, making sure that they're good, and well, figured I might as well include that in my video, since well, the video is about, yeah. Look at this, look at this. Do you see that? Do you think they know that they're